Okay.
Ready?
Nope.
Another Q&A video coming at you.
I'm Chaz.
And I'm Dylan.
And today it's all about remote start kits.
You guys have been asking for remote start kits for a long time now, and we've delivered.
We've had them out for a while now, but we get a lot of good questions about how they work, how it's installed, and stuff just like that.
So let's get on to answering those questions, with this first section being about general questions about remote start.
I'm gonna ask you the first question, Dylan. Why do I need remote start?
Well, remote start is a fantastic addition to any BMW, and the main reason is really climate control. Now, so many people park their vehicles outside, and that means your car can either get really hot or really cold depending on the season. So with a remote start kit, you can start your car and run your HVAC system without worry, getting your interior temperature up or down to the desired temperature that you want. And that means no more frozen windshields for our friends up north. So Chaz, what BMWs actually come with remote start?
BMW has only recently started to offer this, so you have to have a newer BMW to have factory remote start. Even still, it's an option and not one you're gonna find in all regions, so it's not something you're gonna find all over the place. So Dylan, how do I know if my BMW actually has remote start?
Well, that is important to know. The easiest way would be to hit the lock button 3 times on your key fob and see if your BMW starts. Now, we have a whole video on that topic, link in the description, or you can check to see if you have the remote engine start option in your premium package, or check the sub-menu in your iDrive settings. Now, knowing all that, Chaz, why doesn't my BMW have remote start?
As mentioned, remote start is relatively new to BMW. On top of that, it's not standard, and it's not available in all countries. So it's something that you or the previous owner of the BMW would have had to have ordered from the factory. So another question, how can I add remote start to my BMW?
Well, there are a few ways that you could do this. One would be a complete OEM integration. However, this would cost you a lot of time and a lot of money, so we don't suggest it. Another way would be that if your BMW has the correct hardware already, a remote software update could be possible. However, the most surefire way would be the use of our BimmerTech remote start kit in your BMW. To learn more about this kit, you can click the I in the top right corner of this video. But to finish this section off, Chaz, why is my BimmerTech remote start kit not working?
If your remote start kit is not working properly right after you've installed it, double check to make sure that your pins are all in the right location. If one's in the wrong spot, it's not going to work properly. If it suddenly stops working after it's already worked once before, you got to make sure that the key fob has a solid connection between the key fob and the BimmerTech power supply. There's also a chance that you're pressing the lock button too fast. Remember, you want to give it about 2 seconds between each button press. Keep in mind that most problems are caused by wrong pinning.
Now, with all the general stuff out of the way, let's move on to more specific questions and answers regarding our BimmerTech remote start kit.
Since I got that really long one last, let me ask you a question.
All right.
Which BMW models are compatible with remote start retrofit?
Well, currently it's compatible with most F-Series BMWs and quite a few G-Series BMWs. However, your best bet is to head on over to our website and enter your VIN, and you can find the most up-to-date list because we're always trying to add more vehicles that are compatible. So, Chaz, let me ask you, does this kit work with right-hand drive BMWs?
Yes, it will. You'll just have to do everything backwards. Okay, that's not true. But another question, will this work on my BMW if it's in another region around the world?
It will. You just have to make sure that remote start is legal in your area of the world, because some countries have very strict laws when it comes to idling. Chaz, once installed, how do I use remote start?
So once you've installed the BimmerTech remote start kit, all you gotta do is simply hit the lock button 3 times at an even speed and your BMW will start. Next question, does it use the factory fob?
Yes, to start your vehicle once the kit is installed, you will be using your factory key fob. Now, you'll also need to use your secondary fob or the spare fob actually installed inside the remote start kit itself for the system to work. So Chaz, with that in mind, why do I need to sacrifice one of my key fobs?
Well, the system has to recognize a factory BMW key fob. This kit makes use of your second key fob to do that. Once you trigger the remote start, a signal is sent to the fob in the kit to basically authorize the remote start function. So the key cannot be used in any other way because it doesn't have a battery in it and it won't be accessible. And if you don't have one, you can always order one from our website. All right, another question. So will this remote start actually work through the BMW app?
Well, unfortunately, no. Since this is not an OEM product, it's not going to work with the BMW app, which, Chaz, leads me to my next question. Does this come with an app?
Currently, we do not have an app for this kit, but that is something we're working on. Dylan, whenever the remote start feature is activated and the car is currently running, when I use the keyless entry feature to get into the vehicle, will the engine shut off, causing me to restart the motor every time I get in?
Well, we do have this safety feature built in that each time you open the door to your BMW, your engine will shut off, which means you will have to restart it again. However, at least your BMW will be all nice and warm or cool, depending on the temperature you have set. So with that finishes this section. Let's move on to our final section, which will be safety and installation.
So let's start off with this question. How long does it take to actually install?
Well, certain BMWs will take longer than others, but if you have no experience and follow our PDF instructions and video, well, you should plan for about 3 hours. Now, Chaz, a lot of people see this install and they think, wow, this looks complicated. So a lot of people want to know simply, is it safe?
Yeah, it's very safe to install, and if you have any concerns, you could take it to one of our suggested installers that we have in about 30 different countries around the world, which you can find on our website. If you choose to do it yourself, just carefully follow our PDF instructions and videos, take your time, and you'll be fine. So one question I have for Dylan is, will it void my BMW's warranty?
No, it will not, but every country has its own rules and regulations. For example, here in the United States, the Federal Trade Commission states that you do not have to take your BMW to a BMW dealer for repairs and maintenance to keep your warranty intact. However, if you install a part improperly or a defective part and it directly causes damage to a specific part on your BMW, well, then the warranty may no longer cover that repair on that specific part, but the rest of your warranty should remain intact. Now, Chaz, if I install this remote start kit and have my BMW running, can someone get in it and drive away?
No, your doors will remain locked, but even if someone can get in or even locked your doors, once the doors are opened, your engine will shut off. And finally, can someone start the car with a key fob that's installed in the kit inside the car?
Absolutely not. That key fob will only receive power for a brief moment once you give it the command to start with the other key fob that's in your hand. Other than that, it's useless. And that finishes this Q&A video on BimmerTech's remote start kit.
And if you want the BMW remote start kit for your car, just head on over to our website and find the kit that's right for you.
Let us know in the comments about what topic you'd like to see us do a Q&A video on next.
And if you don't want to miss that video, make sure you hit subscribe and hit that notification bell.
And don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok as well. Thanks for watching.